just, I think you're probably all aware, even the newcomers might have seen talk of a survey. What we really believe in here is this support group is yours. It's not ours, it's yours. And we want to know we're doing the right things for you of what you want to see. So questions were sent out to all members, had a fabulous response, loads and loads, far too many. It took me hours and hours and hours to go through the results, but it was really worth doing. First section is all about these meetings that we're doing today. And the questions were, how did you rate or how did you like what we were talking through? And as you can see there, everything gets a high score. The highest of all, no surprise, is that we're quite interested in the medical developments and treatment, closely followed by balanced rehab. That everything scored incredibly high. So I think the little bit about employment issues and benefits is obviously that doesn't apply to all members, but we still are keen to cover that because there is so little information out there for people who maybe face employment discrimination. It's far too common. And then, of course, in the UK, certainly, won't be surprised if it's not the same around the world. No government seems to be keen to be giving out benefits even to those who really deserve it. So great feedback there. Just about the meetings, did we get it right? They're about 90 minutes long, 73% just right, 15% too long, 0% didn't think they were too short. Frequency, we're about every 8 weeks or 6 meetings a year. And again, that seems to be spot on. So we won't be looking to change that. Different meeting formats, we wanted to play about with ideas. What did you think? Open day for families and friends, not over popular, but we still might try it. Relaxation rehab, we listened. We've got Madz on today. We're doing Tai Chi. 1 or 2 members telling their own story to us. Again, we've listened. That's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to hear from 2 great members with their stories. Smaller breakout rooms, we may try that one day. No expert speaker was obviously the least popular because it is a great opportunity for you to access people you wouldn't normally see. So again, thanks very much for the feedback. Group actions, what do we do? A group is defined by what we actually do. It was your views on what are we currently doing, and you can see there we nearly peaked out at 100% satisfaction for the content that goes onto our Facebook and YouTube, not YouTube as it says now. Everything scored highly. Seeking help for members, the members only Facebook group, member to member network. Can I just add, member to member network is proving really popular. It's where you can contact each other directly. A new list is coming out in just over a week's time at the end of Feb. If you want to be on that, you need to email. Contact myself, use contact us or Kevin at, or ring me, text me, WhatsApp me. It's a great thing to do. Highly recommend it, where you get to make lots of new friends. But great response, thanks for everyone, that we're obviously doing the right things. Future actions, again, asking your views on what could we do. Offer volunteers to help members to get treatment was popular. By that we mean if you're on a very new part of a balanced journey and literally don't know which way is up, possibly members could help advise you on how to seek that treatment, and sort of coach you ready for seeing consultants or whatever. Very, very popular. The most popular is let's keep pushing the awareness. As I think you'll all know, most people are totally aware of how serious a balance disorder can be, how devastating it is. And it's so frustrating, even with family and friends, when they will probably make a joke of it and don't understand how it's completely changing your life. Lobbying for greater resources, I like that. So I think if we don't help do that, no one else will. and everyone we speak to, even within the NHS, says it's almost scandalous how few resources there are. Feedback, seek change the NHS, very similar. Working more closely with VIDA in many areas, because they are the only two official voices that we know of in the world for people in our community. So really good stuff. Website, really quickly on the website, feedback there was great, that I think once you're a member, you don't need to use it too much, probably monthly, to find out what's going on with meetings. It's more about explaining what we do to new members and to the outside world. Great feedback on the sections currently on the website and how high you rate them. All this, by the way, you're going to be emailed a link to download this presentation after the event today, and it will go on our website for non-members to see. Obviously, their key is the information about member stories, past meetings. That's what is most helpful to our members to learn from that if you can't be on these meetings. What would you like to see going forwards? Very popular, and we'll be asking members for this, sort of a day in your life, which, you know, that will be so varied but so interesting to see how you live with your challenge. Members forum, popular, but we don't think we've got the resources yet to run that properly, either the software side and more about moderating and making sure it's working well, but we won't ignore that. And then again, employment rights, balance disorders, slightly lower scoring because it's not relevant for all the members. Coping with anxiety, very popular, and more about that at the end of today when we announce the next meeting's guest speaker. Little bit here, very interesting here. Don't be fooled by the size of those bars, because it's 82 and 85%, so really popular. Members giving us short videos to explain the benefits of joining the group, which would be great. And then another interesting one, members actually volunteering to meet and greet someone who's just joined in the first few weeks, and kind of just explain how it works, how friendly it all is, and how to get the best out of the group. So again, we'll be asking for some volunteers there who can help welcome in the new members. We're nearly there now. It's all about you, the support group. So we wanted to find out what was really working for each of you in what we did, and what an amazing response we got. The lowest of all was a 65% on energy and zest for life. I'm personally going to try and improve that. I'm going to be making zest giving phone calls to you all later in the year. We've got to do better. We've got to have more zest. But look at the good stuff. How it just, most of you there said, just knowing you're not alone is such a great help, because it can feel so lonely when we're isolated. Getting great advice, tips on coping, expert information, and of course meeting lots of other people that have got very similar challenges to yourself. So fantastic, really humbling. Myself, Rupal, Kelly, Chris, Yola, we're all, you know, so pleased that it's working and it's helping so many people. The rest of the slides are more intended for non-members, because we've got your fabulous quotes about how the group has helped you. There's 5 slides of that. There were so many, overwhelming. So thank you very, 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 very much to everyone. And you will see a copy of that you can read at your leisure. And I think that is it from me. Rupal, on such a high note, positive feedback, I'm going to hand over to you.
Thank you. It's just great to see people already chatting on in the chat box, and Kelly has been busy sort of looking at those messages, and I think there's some really important things coming out of there today that we can definitely look at with regards to benefit. You know, lots of you I can see are talking about various different benefits, so something maybe Kevin, Kelly and I can look at in the near future, because it sounds like some of you have been through the system, the situations, you know how to deal with it. So maybe we could do a session on that at some stage, Kevin. I think it's obviously affecting a lot of people here, which is great. Keep going with those conversations there. Really nice to see so many people. Kelly, there are a few people that have put messages on the chat as well about being first timers. Should we just give them a quick mention?
Yeah, if I can, let me go back. Hang on. Yes. So yeah, we've got loads, which is amazing. So we've got Linda Kay, or Lena Kay, sorry, my pronunciation. Who else have we got that's new? Julie Edkins, Judith O'Neill, Susie Lambert's on her second, but she reckons she's still a newbie. I think so too, only 2 meetings.
Audrey's just written in as well, I think, and she's a newbie. Welcome, yeah. Audrey.
We've got Anne as well. So yeah, we've got loads, which is brilliant.
Amy as well. I think Amy's just messaged. Amy's new. Ajay, I think I've not seen Ajay before. Hello, Ajay.
Awesome.
This is fantastic. Thank you all for joining us, and we really hope that you're going to get something out of this. And as Kevin said, you know, this is really about you guys, and it's great to have people that come on and talk about their specialist subject, and we would, you know, we love them to bits for doing that. But I think even more important than that is to talk about some of the people, some of the members in the group, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do, to start with, we're going to meet some of our members that have been, you know, with us for a while now. The first person we're going to hear from today is Sandra Black. Sandra is based in London. Sandra, if you can just give us a bit of a wave, tell us where you are, and unmute yourself. There you go. So Sandra, just really share some of your story with us. I mean, it started from what I understand on Boxing Day in 2015.
That's correct. Can you hear me? You can, good. I was at Friends for Boxing Day for a meal, and I suddenly felt weird, just weird. I went into kind of dwam, nothing felt real. I didn't have a migraine as such, but a kind of dissociation and a weirdness. And I felt a bit sick. And so I went home. They lived nearby. I walked home. And I went to bed, and then the next morning, I woke up turning over in bed, and the room was spinning round and round and round, which is probably something that you all know about. I had to rush to the loo, was very frightened, felt quite faint, felt hot, didn't know what on earth was going on. Doctor was called and came, the GP. In those days, they used to do home visits. I don't think they do that much now. And she said, oh yes, you've got BPPV. I hadn't, but that's what she thought. And she did the Epley movement with me. And she sort of said, well, you know, we'll have to take this further. So I think I was put on some national health list, but I never heard anything. So then I went online to find out about what was going on. And someone's name kept coming up, and this was a woman called Professor Linda Luxon. And I'm in London, and there's a hearing and balance centre in London. I had to pay for this, but I thought, well, I'm going to have to do something because I can't live like this. There was also a feeling of dropping, so that if I went forward, I would keep going. There was nothing to stop me. I would just drop. So frightening. It came out of the blue. Anyway, I did get to see Professor Luxon. She diagnosed it as vestibular migraine. She said a lot of people with migraine get balance issues. I'd had migraines in the past, sort of the aura and zigzags and things like that, but not bad, not compared to friends that I know. And even now, I don't have much of a headache. It's balance and internal whirling. So I saw Professor Lux, and she put me on topiramate, and there was a physiotherapist there as well, who gave me some simple sort of exercises to do. I was working at that point in time, I was a psychotherapist. I've had to give up my job eventually. But this is 6 years ago. So I only retired last year. But yeah, that was the sort of first go of things, really.
And how easy? Well, clearly, from what you're saying, it was a difficult process to get the help that you needed to get diagnosed with anything through the NHS. So you had to do that off your own back and do it privately.
Yes, and that was a big deal for me. I've been self-employed all my life, and so my income can fluctuate. So it was a big deal to have to pay myself. But I was desperate. I was frightened. I couldn't understand it. I had no control over it. I felt seasick. I felt like I was wearing a heavy raincoat that was kind of full of lead. I felt sort of exhausted. I felt nauseous, very, very nauseous. I felt internally I was whirling, even though I knew I wasn't. I felt like I was moving like that. It changed my life. I mean, literally changed my life. And
what about reaction from family, friends? Did they understand what was going on? What sort of support did you get from them?
My daughter was very helpful. I think what's been more clear as time has gone on is that some friends sort of say, "You're not better yet, and you know, you look well, and what is that headache you've got again?" No, I have it a lot of the time. There isn't a particular cure, there isn't a particular medication for what I've got. Oh, right, well, anyway, let's do this. And often I have to cancel things. My anxiety went up. You don't have to think normally when you're walking. You don't think about walking, you do it. But when you've got to think about walking, no wonder you get brain fog, and I can't find words. I can think of the person, or I can think of someone well known, like say Theresa May, but I couldn't get her name. Or I can think of a vegetable I'm going to buy, and I can see it in my mind's eye, can't get the word. I was thinking I'm going completely crazy. But then I was sort of reassured that when so much of your consciousness is trying to keep you upright and in balance, your consciousness is moved to that. And so, you know, that's why in physiotherapy they give you awful things like juggling a ball, saying your name backwards, walking over a ladder on the ground, and it is sort of 6 things at once to try and get your brain to kind of get accustomed to this. So to begin with, friends were, you know, concerned, but now they think, you know, you're not better yet.
Yeah, and how do you deal with that? How do you cope with that? What's the reaction? How do you respond to that?
Well, it depends who it is, really. Sometimes I just say I don't want to talk about it, or I think I've told you already. It changes from day to day, and so on. I'm on different drugs, about the 7th drug. I've also had Botox injections, about 35 in your skull, and I've had Gammacore, which you hold on your vagus nerve. I've had a TMS machine, which you put at the back of your head. Nothing's helped really, but the drug that I've been on that has helped has been venlafaxine, which is a devil's come off, and currently duloxetine. But I've now got urticaria, which could be a side effect of duloxetine, but they don't think it is. They think it's something else. So, yeah, I mean, just trying different drugs. I'm now with the NHS. I see Professor Louisa Murden, who works with Peter Rear, apparently. And I also see a neurologist, Dr. Lambrou, at St. Thomas's Hospital. I see them once a year. You know, so if the drug's not working.
I'm guessing that even that, just knowing that you're able to see them,
Yeah.
even for once a year, to have that contact, I think,
Yes.
you know, for me, that was really important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that was really important, and that they did various tests and things, and that they, Louisa Merton, I mean, she cares about what's going on. When things are really bad, I sometimes write my feelings. As a psychotherapist, I was a psychoanalytic psychotherapist, but I also did training in body energy work. So I use EFT, where you tap on different parts of the face and body. That helps. I cry. There's some days that nothing works. And then I think there are all these other people like you folks, you know, and I'm not alone. And the next day it may be a bit better, and it will be. Writing helps, the tapping helps, getting into my garden a bit helps. Just acknowledging I'm feeling sorry for myself helps. I once contacted Kevin, and he came back to me. It was near the beginning when I first joined, and he just said something about he was giving me a smile, and it really cheered me up, that someone could care and knows that you don't have to explain, and you don't have to be positive if you're not feeling positive. But it just lifted my spirits, and this group has really done that.
Thank you, Sandra. And I think, you know, I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people in the group as well. A lot of what you've described. I saw faces, you know, nodding and agreeing with, you know, and relating, I think, to a lot of what you're saying. Kelly's been keeping an eye on all the messages, and lots of people are messaging about various things. Kelly,
can I just say one thing more?
Yeah.
There is coming up next month, the Migraine Summit, the Worldwide Migraine Summit. It's free. They have experts from all over the world. And I know some people on here don't have migraine, but they do a vestibular migraine slot. There's generally someone talking. It's free. You have to register. I can give the address, but it's the worldwide, the worldmigrainesummit.com. And they have experts from the world over. You've got 24 hours to watch it. And you find out there is some research going on. So I don't feel so angry that, you know, there's not enough research. And there is some research going on for balanced things. Yeah. So if anybody wants to watch that, it's quite helpful.
Great. Sandra, if you could put those details in the chat box, that would be really helpful, actually. Kelly, are there any questions for Sandra as well?
We've got quite a lot of people that can completely resonate with what Sandra's been saying. Simon spoke about how being a fellow vestibular migraine sufferer himself, that he can kind of identify with that. Let's see what else we've got.
And I think the whole thing about, you know, while Kelly's looking through quite a few messages on there, but, you know, just being in a community of people that understand, I think, is so important for everyone, isn't it, Sandra? For just to reassure yourself that you're not going mad.
Yes, because the anxiety that you feel so much of the time, which I didn't feel in this way before, because you can't quite rely on yourself. You know, you never know what you're going to do or how you're going to feel, and you know, you didn't have to think about those things before. So my anxiety level has certainly gone up, and I've got to choose carefully what I do now. I challenge myself to some things, but some things I just don't do. And I've had to stop work because I was having to cancel so many times with patients. In the end, I'd stopped. But you know, it's okay. It's okay that I've done that now.
And as you say, sometimes it's okay not to be okay and to feel sorry for yourself, and then, you know, have a better day the next day.
Yeah.
Is there one thing, Sandra, that kind of does motivate you, that kind of makes you feel stronger? It's kind of putting you on the spot a little bit, but
I don't know. I mean, certainly when I write things, or I'm doing the tapping, a lot of emotion comes up. And as a psychotherapist, I'm very aware of the connection between body and mind and feelings. And often just allowing my feelings to come out, that I'm so bloody angry with this thing. It's not good enough. It's not fair. Why has this happened to me? It's not, you know, it's just the fury that you feel. And then grief, because it's here. That often helps, because just letting the feelings go and eventually calming down. Sometimes seeing my daughter helps, petting my cat helps, going into the garden helps. And the drugs help. The drugs do help.
Kelly, are there, I think I can see messages coming in.
Yeah, there's lots of messages of support, and it's not just, you know, people like Simon, for example, that is a fellow sufferer of similar condition to Sandra, that's finding what Sandra's saying really beneficial. It's others, you know, with BP, I can't get the words out, you know which condition I'm talking about, kind of all identifying with that, which is amazing. I don't know if Sandra mentioned it, but Simon's particularly talked about how he finds mindfulness really helpful. I know that's something with my particular balance condition of vestibular neuronitis, I find really helpful to try that. So that might be something for people if they're looking for some tips.
I think Lena's asking. Sorry.
No, so I was going to say, I'm going through the chat, but obviously if there's anybody else that hasn't put it in the chat, please put your hand up and we'll kind of scan over the screens and pick you out if you're happy to obviously be on camera and be asking.
Can I, Sandra, I think Lena's asking, and can you tell us very briefly about tapping and what that is and how do you go about doing that on a low budget? Lena's asking.
It's free. I mean, you can look up EFT online and there's loads of things. It's now clinically recognized as helpful. It's a bit like acupuncture. You tap on meridian points on the side of the eyebrows, under your nose, under your chin, under the collarbones, under your arm, the top of your head. They're meridian points. And it somehow calms the amygdala, the part of the brain where the fight, flight, or freeze comes. And you tap on the side of your hand first, and you say something like, even though I've got this bloody migraine again, and then you say something like, I'm doing the best I can, or I completely accept myself, even when I'm feeling like this. It's very much just whatever you're feeling. And then with that thing in mind, I've got this bloody migraine, this is here again, I can't bear it. You just go around and it calms things down. Often emotions will come up. For me, that's good. That's good, because of course there are feelings about what's going on in you, in your body, but you just keep tapping.
Yeah,
you just need to look up emotional freedom technique, EFT. There's loads on there. They're all free and they're all helpful. I'm sure Michaela knows about them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Does Michaela want to jump in briefly? Michaela Burton?
There you go, I managed to unmute myself. It's not something that I have particularly practiced at all, but it's certainly, if you Google it, and you'll find all sorts online about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
and there's got
technique.
And there's quite a few, if you go on YouTube and things like that, I'm pretty sure you'll find lots of information on there. Loads.
Yeah.
Sandra, thank you. And you know, I'm sure people have got lots of questions and want to have a, you know, one-to-one chat with you as well at some stage. But we've got quite a lot through to get through. So Kevin has got some stories for us, I believe.
I certainly do. And thanks, Sandra. That was really good of you to share that. I'm sending you another smile. So keep going. Some bright news, good news. I forgot to mention when I was going through the members' survey results that we did indeed have a winner of a most fabulous HEPA air filter. And RuPaul, can you tell me, can you see this picture of our winner? Is that visible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's Deborah, and Deborah is with us. And we're going to hear from Deborah shortly, but I don't know, Deborah, I can't see you on my screen. There's so many people there. If you've got your hair filter Wave it around. Oh, there you are, Deborah. Where's that first prize? There we go. Proof there was a first prize. But well done, Deborah won the first ever Life on the
Thank you
Level.
very much. Thank you. I'm really grateful. I've never won anything.
Our pleasure. It's just a shame we weren't Camelot.
Yeah.
Right, good news. More good news now. A section I'm hoping that we can include in every meeting, and I'm going to share my screen again. This little section is where, sadly but very happily, we get members resigning from the group because they are fully recovered. And we've got one such member today who, she can't be with us today, and it's Gerlind from Holland, who, if you go onto our website, you'll see 2 lovely videos from Gerlind and all the problems she was experiencing. And this is only 18 months ago. And I'm just going to share with you now, hopefully this will work and you'll be able to hear it when I put the sound up. And it's a very short video from Gerlind. So we're going to try now and play this. Again, Rupal, can you see that okay on the screen? Ellie? Yeah?
Yep, can do. Yep.
Super, here we go. Hopefully we're going to hear it as well.
Well, hello everyone in the UK. It's Gerlinde from the Netherlands. I just wanted to say thank you for being there, and Kevin, also thank you for all your input. But I will be leaving this support group, which may be hope-giving to a few of you. And I'm very glad I can tell you that I feel a lot better. And also because of these glasses, which are not because of being myopic or farsighted, but which corrects my eye position, and therefore I'm less seasick, less dizzy, and less nauseous. And also I started taking some hormonal supplements, or in my case, progesterone medicine or pill, whatever you call it, but the combination of the glasses with the progesterone and the amitriptyline that I got from the neurologist helped me a lot. And well, I'm very glad I can tell you that I do other things during my day. I go out for a walk and I do not rest anymore in the afternoon. The only thing is I still cannot watch television or screens that change images very fast, but well, I can live with that. Well, I'm very happy to tell you that keep on searching or keep on following your feeling in order to, well, find a solution that may be as suitable for you as it is for me. So I hope this will give you some hope for the near future. Bye-bye.
It was really good, really great. And I mean this in the nicest possible way. Kelly, Rupal, myself, Yola, Chris, we all want to be redundant, but we can't be redundant while we've got members. So we're all hoping every one of you is going to get to that better place. And some of us will never quite get rid of all of our symptoms, but we can get to a much better place in terms of controlling it and living with it. So we hope every meeting we're going to have little stories like this. And we've got a member on with us at the moment who, I think, Gary, you there? If you can unmute Gary. Gary Chamberlain.
Yeah, I'm here.
And again, kindly shared his story with us over a year ago. Things were not so good when Gary started his balance journey. But Gary, I believe now we've got better news.
Yeah, symptom free now for over 15 months. So I'm quite happy with that.
No, that is really, really good. Can you just remember and take us back to when this first started?
It started about 5 years ago, and I had 3 years of being passed from pillar to post with the health service. You know, obviously, the GP didn't know much about it. Various specialists didn't seem to be that interested, really.
Yeah.
The real turning point, of course, was when I went to see Professor Ray. Within a week, literally that quick, I had to pay for it, which I don't mind. But within a week, he diagnosed it. I'd had the first of 2 injections into the inner ear. I've got Meniere's disease. Still felt a little bit wobbly for about, I don't know, 6 weeks maybe. But my background is sport. And in sport, we've got this thing where we call aggregation of marginal gains, where you're always looking for that little 1% that you can get better. So all the time I was coaching, I was always making records, finding out what worked well, what we can drop out, what we need to do more of. And I just applied the same mentality to many areas, really. So things like diet, exercise, what helps, what doesn't help, what's important. And even though I'm symptom-free, I'm still keeping all those things going just the same, just in case it decides to come back. But I've not had anything at all, no wobbliness, no symptoms at all for about 15 months. I don't intend to leave the group because obviously I'm on the person-to-person thing. So if anybody wants to call, email, chat, happy to help anybody who's going through the same I did, because while I was going through it, it was genuinely horrible. I've been through some bad things in life, but that's right up there. You know, it was really quite uncomfortable. So if I can help anybody, I'll still be in the group.
No, that is lovely. That's great, Gary. Thanks for that. It's same with me. When I went down with it 16 years ago and thought my world had ended, my life was over. And for those that
Sorry, Kevin. Sorry to interrupt, Kevin. Can everybody hear Kevin? Because his volume seems to have dropped.
Testing. Can you hear me?
It's dropped dramatically, so I'm struggling to hear you.
Maybe a technical glitch. The good news, Rupert, I'm happy to pass back to you now. Just wanted to share those 2 stories and just give hope to everyone out there. Things will get better. But over to you, Rupert. Thank you.
All right. Well, hopefully Kevin can sort his microphone out when we hear from him next, because we will hear from him. Look, I'm loving all the interaction on the chat, so please keep that going. There's lots of great information being shared by everybody, and what we'll do is save that chat, you know, and Kelly and I and Kevin will look at some of the things that you guys have been talking about and perhaps try and include them next time, some of the links and whatever. If you want to save the chat, if you're familiar with and you're on a laptop, you're able to do this. If you actually click on the chat, there is 3 little dots, and if you click on that, it says more. If you hit that, you can actually save the chat, and it saves it to your computer. So if you're able to do that and want to do that, please feel free to do that. It's just really nice to hear from members rather than you just, you know, watching. And Kevin mentioned Deborah, who is our survey prize winner, who's clearly loving her prize. Deborah, you're up. It's your turn, because you're going to share your story with us next. So tell us about how it all started for you. And actually, you've got the same thing I have, vestibulopathy with visual preference.
Hi. It all started for me in December 16, when literally I'd been to work just an ordinary, it was very busy, I worked for NHS, and I just collapsed, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. Luckily for me, Chris was with me at the time, but I couldn't talk, I couldn't sit, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything, absolutely anything. So in the end, we had to call an ambulance. So the ambulance came and went to hospital, and they did a CT brain scan, and they thought I had a brain hemorrhage. So I was admitted, and then I had to have a lumbar puncture, which is not very nice. The lumbar puncture was okay, it was the neck pain afterwards. And then because they weren't sure about the lumbar puncture, I then had to have several days later an MRI. So I came home, and then unfortunately I got readmitted again in March. Prior to that, my GP, who was an ENT specialist, who knew Professor A, He did 3 upper maneuvers, but they all failed. So basically, it was really quite grim because I couldn't do anything. Chris,
Sorry, Deborah, to interrupt. Can you either move closer to your or speak a little bit louder, because you keep dropping out slightly?
right, yeah, it's probably our Wi-Fi. Is that better?
That's better.
Yes. So basically, the GP referred me to the consultant, and they did tests, and they diagnosed me. I've got a diagnosis of vestibulopathy, which I can just about say now and spell, with visual preference. But also in May, they're saying I've got vestibular migraine, and I do suffer with tinnitus. So it's taken me a long time to get better, 3 years. But for me, life just stopped. I used to, maybe when I was a bit better, watch people go past the window thinking, how do people walk? Or how do people drive cars? How do people just get up? Because for a very long time, Chris used to, I used to be there in the morning, try and get me in the shower. And sometimes I just couldn't. And he'd give me breakfast, he'd bring up some water, and I'd just get a sandwich. But sometimes I'd just be on all fours because I just couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I could hear, but I just lost all the control. It was just like, and I stopped seeing people. I didn't see friends, I didn't see family, because the only time I went out was with Chris, and that was in the car. That was 2 appointments, and I saw Mahdiyya, and the vestibular physiotherapist, what a lifeline for me. Just doing the exercises was just phenomenal, and it took me a long time to get from the basics of it. I mean, 18 months. I sadly lost my job, which I loved. That was probably the worst day of my life. That was very difficult, and it still is now. And I love my job. I work for the NHS, and I worked for them many years. But I consider myself to be one very lucky person, because the coping mechanisms I had initially, and this was a good 18 months later, well, initially I changed my diet. I didn't have any caffeine, I didn't have any chocolate and alcohol. They were quite easy, believe it or not. I had no dairy, and I have goat's milk. And even now I'm in a better place, I still adopt that. And literally, I think the message I would give is to people is, find your smile, stay positive, just don't ever give up. I could listen to music, and how I progressed was from listening to the radio. Then I was able eventually, 2 months later, to choose a CD, to be able to talk on the phone. I was still very dizzy, and because of my job, I lost a lot of confidence. I used to furniture walk. I used to place furniture strategically placed in the house so that I could get from A to B. And I lived upstairs. I didn't go downstairs until Chris came home to help me. And eventually I did talk to friends. And I think the message that I have there is, people want to help you and accept their help, but you need to be open and honest. They can't help you if they don't know. And you may lose some of your friends, but your true friends will always be with you. And I think it's just a case of just persevering and push yourself. Unfortunately for me, a medication I couldn't take. I have a lot of allergies, which meant that the amitriptyline, and I don't know the proper name, but the beta blockers, they weren't an option. So I knew right from the word go that it was going to be a long job. And I had to learn a lot of patience. But I knew that I'd have to push myself. So basically, my neighbours would tell you they used to see me in the back garden, and I used to make myself walk with Chris. I think the other thing is, it's took me a long time to walk on my own. As I say, it's taken me 3 years, and I'd say towards the 2.5, Chris would still walk with me. And then Mahdiyya said, you have to start and walk on your own. That was really brave. That took an awful lot of an ask. And he walked a couple of steps in front of me, but gradually, now I can walk on my own, and I think, you know, it's been life-changing, but I think what I would say to people again is I have a more fulfilling life. Yes, I lost my job, but for me, the simple pleasures in life, just going for a walk, feeling the air on my face, feeling the rain, and I never used to like the rain that much, just the simple things, being able to go out for a meal when we can, you know, after lockdown, just to be able to chat, to be able to watch the television, to be able to see moving pictures, to be able to read a book, do emails, join this support group properly. And I just want to give back. I just want to help people on the journey. I just want to reassure people it is terrible what happened, but you will get there. You will get there in the end. You just never ever give up. And I have this little saying that I say to myself every day: this disability will not define me, and it won't.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for that, Deborah. And I think, you know, a lot of us can relate again to virtually everything you've said. I have the same condition. I have vestibulopathy with visual preference, and if you know, Michaela can vouch for this, but if you'd seen me originally about 10, 11 years ago when it first started, you know, I thought my world had just fallen apart completely, but with the likes of, and then when it happened again, what, 5 years ago, again, I think when it happened the second time, it felt even worse because I thought I was all better, and why was it all happening again? But it's the likes of Michaela that have been there as a huge support, you know, even just having that phone call, or currently phone calls, but previously just sitting in her office and crying your eyes out, going, oh, you know, and just having somebody to listen to, Deborah, you know, has.
I did have a relapse,
support.
Unfortunately, in January this year. This is the third relapse, but now, and it was the same. I just couldn't do anything. Luckily, Chris was at home, but I just tell myself it will pass. It does take a long time. I mean, I think the very first time was, you know, 8 hours before I could even speak. The time scale's getting less and less. And it is frightening, I will be honest, and you never know when it's going to happen. There's no cure. I think that's the worst thing, there's no cure. But what I'm saying is, I think it's important to focus on the things you can do. Set yourself little goals. I mean, just I said, I couldn't, I listened to radio initially, but then I was able to choose a CD. You know, eventually I was able to come down on the stairs. Okay, I came down on the bottom, but I was able then to eventually walk downstairs. And it's just these little things. Just set yourself little goals. Don't take ginormous leaps. And I think it's easy to say now, maybe, but embrace challenges. Because initially I did fight them, and I did sort of think, I did sort of push myself too much. But I think you're right. I think, and it will going forward. This may happen again. But I tell myself, hopefully, if I get a lot of mouth abscesses, I've got one of those as well. Anything just knocks me back, anything at all. And I think having the combined two with the rest of the migraine as well, it's yeah. So I would happily email anybody or support anybody. And I've been through ESA, and that was not a very nice experience. I can give you just the basic tips, what I was told. Sadly, I didn't get the PIP. But yeah, I'm willing to have anybody on their journey. Absolutely.
Yeah. We can definitely look at benefits and things like that, I think, at some stage in another meeting, definitely. But please carry on sharing the information that you're sharing on the chat box, and if anybody can't access that, then I will try and save that. We will try and save it between us, and then send out some of that information from this today's meeting. I think, Kevin, Kelly, I think it's just really important we do that. And just one final question, Deborah, just, and I think Michaela will be really chuffed with this, you advocating the exercises, just how important, how vital have they been?
Well, when I first went to see Mahdiyya, and then she went on mat leave, and congratulations, Mahdiyya, I wish you could see me now. I did leave a message with Michaela. I just really, I mean, Chris had to help me walk, you know. So initially we just did the basic exercise, and as best I remember, it was like with eyes open, eyes closed, and looking up and looking down, and looking from side to side, putting my thumb, and even now, if I do something, I go to a strange place, I put my thumb out in front of me, and I move my head as if you're looking at something's in a shop, very slowly, and I will say it does make you feel dizzier. Initially, I had to do it sitting down, and I could sit up. And then I had to stand against the bed or something that would support you. Oh, and I think the very first thing I did was like use stripe wallpaper, because if I went anywhere, like when I went to ESA, they had these really stripy carpets or anything. It was horrendous. It was, it made me feel even sicker, nauseous, and it just like felt like the walls were coming in. So to do these exercises, very simple exercises, and persevere with them. There are some days you don't want to do them, but you have to do them, and they make you feel dizzier, but that's the way that the brain compensates. And honest to God, they were just a lifeline for me. And without not being able to use the drugs, I think that's what really, really makes such a difference. And talking to them, saying things, I couldn't do things. And now, you know, I want to do a leaflet. I want to do something so that when people go to clinic, there's loads of information there, but and no disrespect, there's nothing like a patient's perspective. And everybody's different, I'll just say that. Some of you may recognise symptoms I'm saying, some it may be totally alien to. We're all different, and I think that's the most important thing to get across as well. I've written it, I'm just waiting for logos and other things to come back. But just for somebody, if you can't read it, and this is what it says on it, I couldn't read, get someone to read it to you. But the exercises, and then you progress gradually to being able to balance on a bumpy surface or something, gradually build on that. But as I said, it took me way over 18 months, 2 years, and Mahdiyya was patience itself.
But you've done it. Well done.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. There you go. If you need an advocate, Michaela, you've got one there in the form of Deborah. Kelly, are there any questions or comments? I think Kelly's been busy trying to keep up with the chat box, haven't you?
Definitely kept me busy today, which is amazing. So I very much appreciate it. Yeah, lots of discussion in the chat about various things. Which is great. Something that kind of, one of the general themes that have popped up today, which I thought Deborah might be able to offer some insight on, is about kind of work. Obviously, we've had a lot of people kind of talk about challenges that they face with their conditions, with work, with accessing benefits and things like that. I know personally from my experience, work has been a really difficult, and it's a really sore point for me in terms of the impact my condition has had on my employer. And I, similar to you, have had to leave work because of those sorts of issues. I don't know whether you said, Deborah, earlier, are you working now?
No, sadly. I mean, I was a sonographer, so that a lot of people don't understand what sonographers do. So basically, if you've got a lady who's pregnant, I would scan the pregnancy, but I do other things as well, and I would do adult abdomens, children, a lot of things. So this means operating the machine, obviously. It means typing a really complex report, and it means interaction with patients. I absolutely loved my job. And I always have done. I've done it since I was 19 for many years. But sadly, the NHS just got rid of me. They weren't willing to wait for me to get better after the year, so that was it. And there was no sympathy. HR were horrendous. But moving on from that, no, and I haven't worked since. I've sometimes thought maybe I could go back, especially with the the pandemic. But the thing is, I don't think I could be as quick as I was. I mean, there was, so no, I lost my job, and it's probably something I'm never going to be able to do again. I mean, somebody asked me if I'd considered being a lecturer, and I think this was another hope. This is another thing that gave me my confidence back. This was to do a lecturing at Birmingham, and I had to fill in a really, really complex, long-worded form, a bit like ESA. I couldn't do the essay on my own because I had to, but basically, And they're shortlisting it. I was totally honest and said I was just too poorly, but it was just in case I wanted to do it in the future. So that gave me confidence. But I think it's finding a different way of life. Now I belong to Connect, which is our church, and I go to support some of the elderly people, knock on their doors, ask them, do you need any post taking, any stamps getting. I don't do shopping. I'm just starting to get back in a car now with Chris present, and just really to stop, enjoy life, and embrace it, because it's been such a journey. I think it's important to, how we say, find your smile. Do something, even if it's only 5 minutes in the day, that gives you pleasure. Because in your dark days, you know, that will give you confidence. It will spur you on to just reflect on that and say, I did do this, and I can do this. And it's like little stepping stones. But it is. And I feel for anybody who's lost their job. I mean, my job was me. It's my identity. I felt like I lost my identity. It was a really very difficult time, and it's still quite emotional to speak about it now.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that.
Yeah. My friends who are still doing it, they're sonographers. I listen to them on the phone and I realise what's happening to them, and I'll do something to give back in a different way, to support people in a different way. And if that involves more of an in-depth role with this group, which do an amazing job, then that is my way forwards. It really is. Yeah.
There we go. We've got Kevin. We've got another ambassador
absolutely.
on the group. Perfect. Look, thank you so much, Deborah, for sharing that, and yeah, all the positivity, which I think we all.
My email in the chat box. Anybody can email it. I don't even mind if people ring me, because I couldn't even email. Chris had to I had to dictate. Chris had to write everything down for me.
Brilliant. I think maybe we should do a session, Kevin, Kelly, on technology and things that are useful actually for people, because that sounds like another subject.
I've been scribbling all sorts.
I was going to say, keep writing all these things down because they're amazing. Well, look, we normally have our guest speaker at the beginning, and then we waffle on about all the boring bits, all the stats and all that. So we thought we'd do it the opposite way around and save the treat for the end of our meeting today. And I'm really I cannot wait, because I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but I've had a bit of a day of it already. And it, during COVID, it's like, and I cannot wait to do some Tai Chi, or even get a taster of some Tai Chi today. Courtesy of Madz from Dizzy Ears. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself and hopefully give us a bit of a taster of something that is supposed to be really good for people with balance conditions. So Madz, welcome to Life on the Level. Welcome to the group. As you can see, I don't suppose you've ever been to an online meeting where, as a voluntary group, you see about 49 members, joining. So welcome to the big group.
Thank you very much. It's really nice to see how many people are on here and how many people have received so much support and help from this group. It's amazing. So I'm really glad to be here. So yes, I'll start with a quick presentation first, if that's okay, just to kind of share a bit more information about what Tai Chi is and how it can help you with your dizziness. And then we'll go on to do the practical side of things, which will be about 15 minutes of the exercises. So give me a second. I'll just share my screen with you. There we are. Okay, can everyone see that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Good.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, so Tai Chi, gentle Tai Chi for balance disorders. So I am a vestibular audiologist. I'm currently working back at work after maternity at the Leicester Royal, and I work for the Balance Clinic, but I've also got a private company called Dizzy Ears. Okay. So I want to start by talking about Tai Chi and what it is. And I'm sure most of us will have heard of Tai Chi before, but not really know a lot of detail. I get asked questions like, is it similar to karate, and how is it different from yoga? So it is a Chinese martial art, but we won't be doing any defensive stuff today, so no kicking things around, don't worry. And it is a sport mainly, but it's also a healing art. So the movements that are involved in Tai Chi involve a lot of mindfulness, a lot of deep breathing, a lot of relaxation, because the idea, similar to karate, is that if you can get your mind to a place where you can, you're in control of your mind, you can therefore be in control of your body, and you can make your body do whatever you want just through mind power. So that's the idea behind it. And so therefore, if you are in control of your mind and your body, you can also heal yourself. So it's a really interesting philosophy, and it's very much a way of life for quite a lot of people in China and elsewhere in the world. The movements are very soft and gentle and very sort of very safe. So especially the exercises that I'll be doing are very, most of them are sitting down. It involves a lot of breathing and relaxation, and it's suitable for everyone. It's suitable for adults, for children, for people who are able-bodied, who are not able-bodied. It's for everyone. Okay. So these are some examples of sort of disorders and illnesses that Tai Chi can help you with. So of course we'll be focusing on the balance, but you can see the list is endless. It's amazing that all these different movements can help with all these different parts of your body. So it's really worth looking into. And on the side, I've mentioned the Shibashi exercises for health. So this was created by Dr. Chan in the 1980s. It's a set of 18 Tai Chi exercises, which we've now actually started doing on the NHS. And the idea is that if you do these 18 sets of exercises, it helps you from head to toe for all different ailments and anything you might be suffering with in your body. So what's Tai Chi got to do with dizziness? How can it help your balance disorder? Well, what I've done is I've put on the left, so your balance disorder more or less gives you these three main symptoms. So dizziness, vertigo, that sort of thing. And there's a big element of, as you'll know already, of anxiousness and fear as well, that is associated with your balance disorder. The three things in the middle are the three things that we may have prescribed to you. So vestibular rehab therapy, the exercises that you may be doing, mindfulness and relaxation to help with the dizziness and the anxiety. There's also all other things we may have provided you with, including medication and other things as well. But these are the three, from a vestibular rehab point of view, these are the three main things that we'd normally talk about in your appointment. So the gentle Tai Chi exercises are not to replace the vestibular rehab therapy. It's more of it's an alternative set of exercises that you can try. So it's something different, it's something hopefully fun and a bit more interesting, and something relaxing for you to do. So it should hopefully complement what you may have already been prescribed by your health professionals. Okay. So the Tai Chi exercises that I do, they're sort of what I call adapted exercises, and they're very gentle. Like I said, they are seated, most of them, and very slow movements. And we'll be talking about that when we're doing the exercises. You feel like you're doing everything in slow motion, which is very hard for a lot of us to do because we're so used to being active all the time. So yeah, very, very, so you can't go wrong with it. It's very safe. So yeah, so we can try that and see how you feel. So I just wanted to reiterate, because I think there's been a few messages about how the Tai Chi classes, so I do the Tai Chi classes currently on Zoom on a Sunday at 11 o'clock in the morning. So you can contact me if you are interested. They're £5 a session. For about half an hour, and the vestibular rehabilitation service that I offer is one-to-one, but the Tai Chi classes are in a group. So it's nice to do it with other people. And if you're feeling a bit shy and a bit self-conscious, on the Zoom classes, you don't have to put your camera on. You can leave the camera off and just do it in your own space. so that's fine as well. And I do offer a support group for those of you who are in the Milton Keynes area for balance disorders and dizziness. And those are my contact details, and I'm available on social media, which is there at the bottom. Okay, so should we get started and let's try it? Let's just do it.
Can I just ask you, sorry, Madz, can I just ask you a question? You mentioned the fact that they're offering this stuff on the NHS. Did I get that right?
Yeah, so not in terms of the balance, not in the balance clinic, but I don't think in the Leicester Royal they do Tai Chi on the NHS, but in other parts of the country they do. So they do offer in their physio departments and occupational therapy departments, they offer Tai Chi as a service in the NHS. And we've been doing it on the NHS for about 20, 30 years now, Tai Chi, the Shibashi exercises. So actually it's already going on in other parts of the country.
Did not know that. Michaela, is that something that's can be looked at? Putting you on the spot slightly.
So we are actually, sorry, Michaela, we are actually looking into doing that in the balance clinic, but not yet. But we are speaking to the managers and looking into bringing that in hopefully sooner rather than later. But obviously with COVID and stuff, there's been quite a bit of a delay in that. So we'll see. Michaela, was there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I was going to say we're very good at Leicester, aren't we, with trying to bring in new and other helpful things to complement the vestibular rehab exercises that we give, and doing essentially what's best for our patients and doing everything that we can in whatever way we can. So yeah, we're looking forward to you bringing the Tai Chi in.
Brilliant.
We'll see. Right, so I'm going to stop sharing that, and I'm going to share some music. Now I'm going to put my wireless microphone on, so just to let you know, I won't be able to hear you guys when I've got the microphone on. So if there's any issues, just wave at me, Rupal or Kevin.
So while we wait for Madz just to plug herself in, hopefully we'll hear her very short.
Okay.
While we're doing that, Rupal, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Oh, fabulous!
Thank God.
Oh, I was worried.
Right. Are we all ready for this? Because I think it's quite nice to have a bit of relaxation time. Go. Can we see some faces, some waves, some nods or something? Yeah, everyone looking forward to this? Yeah. Fabulous. Great stuff. Anyone else done Tai Chi before? Anyone do Tai Chi regularly? Yeah? Okay, so some of you know what to expect. I'm really looking forward to it. Fab.
Okay.
So as Madz just sets herself up there, some of you saying, I think Lena's saying she's never done it before, but Lena, yeah, probably if you can't do the Sunday classes, maybe wait until either they come to the Leicester Balance Clinic or, have a chat with Madz. Maybe she can do something elsewhere, don't know. We're ready when you are, Madz.
Can you hear me okay?
Keep talking. Keep talking. Have a go.
She can't hear us.
Sorry, Kevin, I can't hear you. Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah, that's it. And Kevin, can you tell me if you can hear the music okay? Lovely. Okay. So we're going to start with some warm-ups. So this is called the Chinese warm-up, okay? The music isn't on for this yet, so don't worry about that. And we're going to start by rubbing our hands. And what I would like you to do is pop yourself at the edge of your seat. So don't sit back all relaxed. To improve your posture, come to the edge of the seat, okay? So your back shouldn't be touching your chair, okay? And we're going to start by rubbing our hands together. And this is just waking up all your senses and just bringing up
sort of waking up your stimulation in your muscles and your nerves. And it's just kind of, yeah, getting you ready for that stimulation. So we're going to tap our heads as well, okay? And we'll go down to our faces, tap your faces, give it a nice rub. And then I'm going to take my glasses off, and with your hands, make some C shapes. And you're just around your eye sockets, you're just very gently massaging yourself, just waking up those senses. Okay, I'll put my glasses back on. And with your hands, I want you to make like a Spock sign, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put that around your ears, and you're just going to give your ears a massage on either side as well, the most important part of your body. Lovely. And we're going to come down to our chest, and we're going to do a bit of Tarzan. Okay, we're going to come down to our belly and just give our belly a nice little rub. So they say if you suffer with things like constipation and digestive issues, going in a clockwise direction follows your large intestine, and it just kind of leaves that for you. But if you're suffering with the other issue, you want to go backwards, you want to put it all back in. So whatever you want to do, we're all closed eyes so we don't see what people are suffering with. There you go. And then we're going to go down to our thighs and our legs, and we're just going to give it a nice pump, massage. Wake it all up, give your feet a nice rub. And we're going to end with our back. So with the back of your palm, just give your kidney area a nice little rub there. Great. Okay, so now we're all ready for the Tai Chi. So I'm going to put the music on now. Okay, we're going to start with some breathing exercises. So one palm on your front, one palm on your back, and all you're doing is just breathing in and out. And what we're doing here is we're preparing the brain for the mindfulness aspect of these exercises. So throughout these exercises, I want you to be concentrating on your breathing. So you're just going to be breathing in and out, making sure you don't hold your breath, especially if you feel dizzy. Just make sure that you are breathing in and out, and that helps you with your anxiety and helps you to relax. And when you are breathing in and out, you want to be doing it with your nose, so you shouldn't breathe in and out with your mouth if you can help it, because otherwise that expels too much oxygen and that can make you lightheaded. You can close your eyes for this if you like, if that's more relaxing for you. Okay, thank you very much. And we're going to open our eyes, okay? I'm going to start with the first movement. So this is called the waterfall. What you're doing is you're lifting your hands and your arms with your palms facing down, but you're all relaxed. Don't be stiff, okay? Nice and relaxed. And as you bring your hands down, your palms should be facing out. And you want to go really slow, really gentle. And back up again. Remember, palms facing down. And back down again. Now, if you're feeling brave and you're not feeling too bad with your dizziness, then I'd like you
to follow your hands with your head. So you're looking down with your head, and as your palms come up, you're following it with your head. And you look all the way up to the ceiling, and then come back down again, really slow, really gentle. And you repeat it again, very slowly. And the reason Tai Chi is so slow and gentle is you're getting your mind to be mindful. You want to be present in the here and now. You don't want to be thinking about what's happened in the past. You don't want to be thinking about the future. You want to think about here and now. Okay, and if you want to make it more challenging, then we'll close our eyes whilst we're moving our heads at the same time. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can leave your eyes open. Okay. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next movement, and we're going to be creating some waves with our hands. So again, nice and relaxed, okay? Going to open up our palms, look at your palms, close one palm, and push the wave with your hand. Bring it back. Open your palms, close your palms, and push to the other side. Bring your hand back. Open your palms, close one palm, and push your hand to one side. Bring it back. Open your palms, close your palm, and push with the other to the other side. Now, again, if you're having a dizzy day, you can keep your head still for this and just move your arms, okay? But if you want to make it a little bit more challenging for you, then follow your hands with your head. So your head is going side to side with your hands. Okay, well done. Going to move on to our next movement. So now there's a bit of visualization involved. I want you to pretend you're in front of a cherry tree in a nice, beautiful field. And I want you to reach over and pick up a cherry from a tree and put it into your basket. Again, if you want to keep your head still for this, you can do. So if you want, you can keep your head still and just make the movements with your hands. But if you're feeling a bit brave, then look up at the cherry tree, pick up the fruit, and put it down into your basket. And if it helps, you can do this with your eyes closed. Remember to keep breathing throughout these exercises. Don't hold your breath. Well done. Remember to go really slow. Really gentle. Remember to stay in the moment. Think about how your hands are moving. Think about your feet touching your ground. Don't let your thoughts digress. Stay in the moment. Okay, well done. All right, so now we're coming to the end of the session. So in Tai Chi, the Chi relates to an energy ball that exists just below your belly. And if I can get you to just hold that energy ball with your hands, okay? And the ball is quite elastic. You know, it expands, it contracts. It's like a balloon in your hands. And you can play with it. And you can imagine it just there. Just have a little play with it. You can close your eyes if that helps to imagine it there. Okay. Just going to feel the ball. This might cause a bit of tingling in your hands. That's normal. Just feel it. Okay. Remember to keep breathing. And what we're going to do is we're going to scoop the ball and the energy. We're going to throw it in the air very gently. And we're going to let it wash us over ourselves. And then scoop up the energy again. Throw it up to the ceiling and bring it back down again. Very gently. And again. Okay, well done everyone. So we're going to end with some breathing. So one hand on your front, one palm on your back, and all you're doing again is just breathing. So we're going to just relax our minds from doing all that activity and doing all those head movements. We're just going to come back to center again, and you can close your eyes for this. And you're just breathing in and breathing out through your nose. And if you want, you can lean back on your chair now. Just relax. Okay, you can open your eyes and come back into the room.
Hi everyone, thank you. I'll take my mic off so I can hear you now.
We've just had a message from someone, is it Susie, who says her dogs are fascinated with Tai Chi. Something about the cherry picking, I missed it. That was lovely.
Yeah, it's so hard to get into that slow meditative movement, isn't it? And with practice, you do get better at it. Because we're just so used to our thoughts running ahead of us and just, being busy all the time, that to bring ourselves back into the moment, it can be really, really hard. But it's so important, especially if you do suffer with dizziness and vertigo, to do a bit of mindfulness, because that really helps to kind of bring you back into the moment. So you're not getting anxious by thinking about, oh, what's going to go, what's going on and all that stuff. It just kind of brings you right down to basic.
Kelly, loads of messages, aren't there? All loving it by the sounds of it, Kelly.
Yeah, everybody is loving it. It's amazing. And it was so interesting how everybody seemed to really get involved with it, which was really lovely to see as well. We've had some cats and dogs get involved, which is always fun. Brilliant. I know when I've done yoga and things like this before, my cat just loves it. She just thinks the downward dog position is when you can just go under me. And I'm like, no, it's really not helpful having a cat doing yoga, but all fun and games.
Simon says he's going to see if he can find a Tai Chi playlist on Spotify. Nice one.
Yeah.
Has anybody got any questions for Madz, or do you just want to kind of leave it there and go off and in this?
Well, some people have already gone off and had a nap, which is great. That's how relaxed people are feeling.
That's brilliant.
No, really good, really good.
Great. No, I'm glad everyone enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Madz has put her details actually on in the chat box right at the top. Maybe we could ask you just to put those details in again, copy and paste them again in the link, and please save the chat because there's been lots of conversation today. How's everyone feeling? Sandra, I think, has got a question. If you just unmute yourself, yeah.
How do I save the chats? I don't see any 3 dots. How do I save the chats?
Okay, so are you on a laptop, Sandra?
No, I'm on a PC, a computer.
Yeah, so you should, where the chat box is, if you click on the chat box, so it opens up.
3 dots were near file on my chat box.
Yeah.
Mine's bottom
Sandra.
right of that window.
Bottom
Click
right.
on the chat.
So
It's
where
not-
you would type your message, can you see the chat box at all?
At the moment, I can't because I'm seeing the full screen. Oh,
At the bottom.
yeah, okay, it's there now. And
You
then
found
what?
it? So open up the chat box,
Yes.
and do you see where it says type message here?
I
Can you
did
see-
it in the past, but I can't see it now. Wait a minute. Let's go down.
Can you see other people's messages?
Yes, I can.
Okay, underneath that, what can you see? Underneath the last message.
How do I say? Well, my message is there.
Okay, can you see any other messages?
The one before that, bottom center on full screen.
Great,
Oh.
okay, so you can see the same message as we can.
Yes.
So on the right of that,
Okay.
can you see something that says file?
Yes.
Next to it, there are 3 dots.
No. Oh gosh, I can hardly see them. Yes, I can see them now.
Yeah,
Let's see. Save chat.
yeah,
That's it, spot on.
that's it. If you click on that, you should be able to save the chat.
But put your glasses on, Sandra.
Yeah, anyone else struggling, I've saved chat and just email me and I can actually email you the file. So don't worry, if anyone wants it emailing to them, not a problem.
Yeah, I think we've had a request for some kind of notes from the chat earlier in it, so.
That's good. And just a reminder, the survey results will be on the website, downloadable, and you'll get emails on that. And details for Madz Great Gentle Tai Chi will be on the website as well. Even I'm thinking of going for that one, Madz. So I may see you tomorrow.
You see influx of people now, and you'll be like packing them all out on a Sunday.
It's a great way to start your day, honestly. It's nice and relaxing.
Definitely.
It just gives you that energy, yeah.
That's good. Rupal, one last round if anyone's got questions, because I think we're getting near to the end.
Yeah, just some lovely comments coming in, I think, so far. Thank you all. Great. If you are a first timer, how did you find it? Have you enjoyed it? And thank you for all the lovely comments. I'm so glad that you're enjoying being part of the meeting. And if it's brand new to you, then welcome. I hope that you will come back. Does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts before we say goodbye? Put your hand up, I think might be the easiest. Ella?
Ella, if you take yourself on mute.
Ella, you need...
Ella, we can't hear you.
There we go.
There we go.
Well done.
I have real problems with my walking. My balance just goes, and I'm going slowly with it, but it's still an issue for me, just going outside and walking up, anybody got any sort of suggestions? I am doing the vestibular exercises. Oh, Nordic walking poles.
Yeah, Ella, it's Kevin. I'll send you some details. In fact, I'll put it on the website. I'm working with a Canadian company that does Nordic walking poles, but they're specially developed for rehab work with balance. The benefit of using 2 poles is that you can get what they call a more normal gait, a normal way to walk. Whereas if you use a cane or a crutch, you can't walk normally. But I'll put details up on it. These are especially safe for people like us who have a tendency to not have great balance. But Nordic walking poles generally, the only problem with Nordic walking poles, just to warn people, they have straps that you put your hand through. That can cause problems. If you fall, you can't let go of the Nordic walking pole.
No.
So the ones that I'm working with the Canadians, they have no strap, but they've got a specially adapted grip. But I'll put details up in the news section on that. But they're very good.
Yes, okay. Thank you for that, Kevin.
Sue's just saying that, just going back to the exercises. I've lost the message. My goodness, you guys are typing faster than I can read. She says, I do Pilates as well, which helped me. Thank you for that. Question, if Michaela is still on here, any idea when the balance clinic reopens from Nikki? Is Michaela still on here? I can't see.
Yes, she's here.
I'm here. At the moment, I don't know. We've all been redeployed into the various wards and the vaccine hubs because we were needed.
Yeah.
It was that short-staffed in the hospital that they've taken us out of audiology and put us into wards and things, which is nice. We're having good fun. But we all desperately want to get back to doing our balance clinics and doing our normal jobs. Certainly, I know my clinics are cancelled to the very end of February, but I haven't heard anything with regards to whether I'm then back into the balance clinic from March or whether I'm going to be remaining on ward for longer. I just don't know at the moment, but we're doing everything we can to get on top of everything and get back to seeing everybody.
So in terms of, are you still able to speak to people on the phone or not at all? The whole clinic's just closed completely.
Not in the clinics. Andrew is popping in on occasion when he gets the opportunity. There is the answer machine to leave messages on, but I know that gets very full very quickly, and Andrew says he's only there on occasion to try and have a quick flick through that and to go on to things. So that's the NHS. On the private side of things, everything's running. So that side of things, people do have access that way. But I understand that's not always an option for everybody. Yeah, there's no ideal answer, unfortunately.
Question, Kelly, from Lena for Michaela, just come in.
Yeah, it says, if we lapse 6 months, will we be taken off the list?
No. No, sir.
Nice, short and sweet, I love it.
No, everything essentially is, to my understanding, everything is paused.
Yeah, like frozen, yeah.
Yeah. If there are any issues that people do fall through the net and it's just somehow just, does knock people off, let us know and we'll get things sorted.
Thank you. Any other questions? Any other final comments? Last opportunity, put your hand up because it's probably just the quickest, easiest way. I'm going to try and check to see if anybody's got their hand up. Anybody?
Can't see, no.
I'm scanning, but I can't see. I think we're all good.
I think we're all good, yeah?
Good. Let me just add them, Rupal. Announcement, make sure you keep Saturday, April the 17th free, because that's the date of the next meeting. Saturday, April the 17th, 1 p.m. And we've got expert speaker then will be Dr. Lynette Simpson, clinical psychologist, works for Leicester Royal Hospital, and we'll be getting again into mental health issues when living with balance conditions. So that should be a good one. Can I just say what a fabulous meeting. Thanks, Rupal, Kelly. I love it. Getting you all involved, all these comments is brilliant. For anybody new, just get more and more involved as you can, because whatever you put in, you tend to get out. And I say that even though you've come here for support, you'll find by talking to fellow members, you are giving support as well. So it's brilliant. And I'm just so happy to be part of this. And I think you should all unmute and give yourselves a round of applause as we say goodbye. So thanks everyone for tuning in.
And a huge thank you as well again to Madz for doing the Tai Chi.
Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you in 8 weeks. Well done.
Yay.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for